Hey everyone, just as I was getting ready to start making off-season content for you guys, Axie Infinity released Season 0. Unfortunately for me, the game dropped really late at night and I had to get out of bed to start battling it out for this season. And let me tell you, the meta was going crazy for the first few hours, and I actually had a team that got me to the top 1 position for a few hours. Unlike the last season, Season 0 was very kind to me with the runes and charms. And because of this luck, I was actually able to build a more efficient Fury build. This build involves so many new mechanics, so I'm going to stop right there and just let's get started. Alright, so let's take a look at the runes and charms of this build. As you can see right here, we're running a little bit of a different of a build. We have a plant, beast, and bird, mostly because of the runes that I got for this season. But let's check out the plant right here. The plant, very basic plant that I typically use. It's using a Tough Strike basic rune, very simple to get. I think you get this at the start of the season. And we have some unique cards in this build. Cactus is a very standard card. Sirius, very standard card. I've talked about it in a lot of my videos. Earwing, mainly because of the AoE and dealing with birds and summons. Very good card for that. Little P's, of course, one of the strongest eyes. I feel the vulnerable ability is so good. So none of this is new. Watering Can is basically a defensive card. Not too much different to talk about there. But right here, Shiva. It's not a carrot. My typical card to go with is carrot, but I'm using Shiva now. And Shiva got buffed from 3 rages to 4 rages. It says your team gains 4 rages when this Axie's HP is below 75%. So Shiva became really, really good with this patch. It's a 2-cost card, so it does have its downside. But if you're able to actually use the rage mechanic to get into Fury mode, then Shiba is an awesome card to have in your team. And with Cactus right here, taunting them towards you, you're able to get the potential of Shiba out. As far as the charms, it's very simple. All vitality runes right here. Basically, you want to give this the most HP so it can live through this taunt the best it can. As far as our tank, I'm using a beast. I typically use Aqua, but why is that? Mainly because of the pangolin scale right here that I got really early in the season. It's a rare rune, but I consider it one of the best runes in the game at the start off with. It says, cannot gain shield, but take 15% less damage, and that reduction in damage is so good for a tank. It becomes one of the best tanks, but it can only be played on a beast. Its moveset is pretty similar to my Aqua. It's using a Cottontail for energy, very good, 0-cost card. These 3 are really interchangeable. They were just what I got with this Axie, what I could find, but very good damage cards. Try to get as many as you can right here. Ronin is really strong with this build, of course. And right here, Little P's is almost necessary, I feel, necessity almost on this build, just because it's so good at dropping vulnerable. And Confident is the other secret card for this build. So since we're running a Fury build, we're trying to make it more efficient and giving ourselves more opportunities to get stacks of rage right here. And this one, 0 cost, 2 rages with the ability to cleanse is so good. As far as our runes, you typically would just have all vitality here. It needs the most HP to really take advantage of that reduction in damage. But in this case, I was actually very fortunate to get this epic rune right here called Mask of Frenzy, and that really makes this build so good. And when Mask of Frenzy hits, it gives your whole team 1 rage. So that really helps your whole team get into rage mode, and you're gonna see why hitting everyone with rage is so good for this build. But it's a very rare charm to get, but it's very effective in this build, so I run it. If you don't have it, just try to get Confident and all vitality runes here to make your build the most efficient. As far as the closing Axie, it's changed a little bit, but it's still a bird right here. As you can see, it is going to be very different from our other builds. Right here is my bird. I'm using Raven's Tactic. It's a really good rune. I've talked about this one a lot before. It's an epic, so I got really lucky to get it so early in the season. But you could just use a Tough Strike if you don't have that, or other bird runes that you can get. But basically, this bird is not like my Tiny Dino one. It doesn't have Tiny Dino. It is using Shiva right here. I'm using Eggshell to taunt again. So taunting and Shiva are such good synergies in this game, especially Eggshell and Cactus. So this combo right here is really good. I'm running a double talk, a disable card. I usually was running Rosa before, but now it's a double talk. Mavis, of course, great card to put out, and it gains you a lot of energy. If you're able, if your opponent has no answer for this, it's almost game for them in a typical matchup. Cupid, it's a damage card and it has bleed on it. Bleed does a lot of damage if your opponent tends to attack a lot. And Curly, not the greatest card, but just another card I added in. Basically, these two can be interchangeable to other things, but mostly attack cards. But why is Shiva so good? So this gives you 4 rage, and my other Shiva can also give you 4 rage. So if you manage to get both of your Axies really weak, my midliner and this bird, you have the potential to get 8 range to your whole team. Meaning there are situations where your whole team could go into Fury mode, and that's really, really destructive in this game. As far as charms, I typically use mostly Vitality runes. This time I'm really low on them, so I'm forced to use a little bit more damage, but it works out for a damage dealer. And I'm using as many Vitalities as I can, but this is one of the charms that I got that's really good. It's a targeting stamp. So one of the stamp charms, and this one's Moon Stamp, and allows you to target the second closest enemy. And that's really good for a card like Double Talk, because Double Talk usually would put to sleep the Axie right in front of you. But if you can target the Axie right behind it, then it really allows you to disable way more than what Rosa could do before. So Double Talk and these target stamps are so good, but keep in mind, you need a lot of potential points to run this. All right, it's time to see this Shiva team in action. So as we start here, we're playing against Rollo Sura. I believe he's an Axie Pro player, and he's more from the LATAM community here. So we're playing a real professional here. And we're playing against, he's using a poison comp. Poison comps are really strong in this meta. He's using Green Thorns, which is a staple, Yams, so much poison. His team's so efficient at poisoning. It's going to be a really tough matchup with this. He's using Tiny Turtle to disable and Little Peas. His team is really, really stacked right here. He's running this one as well. More taunt, more poison, just more of everything. And Kotaro, of course, one of the best mouths for this build. And his last Axie, of course, has charms and runes that poison. And Gila, which is so strong in this meta. So it's going to be a very close game just playing against this. So let's see what happens right here. I go into him, I hit him, and that's pretty much all I do. As you notice, I sent back my cactus since I went first right here. Because as you know, I'll let him hit my first Axie a little bit, like see what he does. And then next turn, I'm going to draw out my cactus since I got that free return from turn 1. So now my cactus comes out again. I'm able to hit into him and then hit him with the Little Peas right here. So this front Axie, even though it has an epic charm or an epic rune right here, is in a little bit of a tough state right here. He could die next turn. He's really whittled down in his HP. He didn't draw any armor cards, but he's dropped a lot of poison on my team, and this is going to get really bad for me. As we see here, I hit him with the Shiva. I did not get any boost because my Axie is not low enough, but I did get a boost from my charm right there, hitting with Little Peas, which has the charm on it. And we're here. He disables my front Axie. Very bad situation right now for me. If I draw any of these beast cards right here, I'm in trouble. And he uses the Gila. Look at all that AoE damage. And he added more poison to my team. This is a nightmare going on right here, guys. But I am able to get another Shiba off. Boom. And my stacks from my whole team go up by 4. So there's Shiva's revenge is coming, guys. The revenge is coming. He's noticing that I'm stacking up stuff, but the poison is also going up as I'm stacking. So we're in a close tie, I feel, right now. The Taro hits my back Axie right here. I put a little shield on him. So much poison is being dropped. It's insane. So, like, oh my, look at all those stacks right here. He's going to kill off my bird, which I was hoping would live, but at least it took a few of the stacks of poison away. I'm going to hit into him right there. I can't use Eggshell because it's going to kill my Axie back here if he targets him. So I need to do everything I can to avoid hurting this back Axie because I already know these poisons are a death sentence. Like, basically, if these go off every turn, I'm going to die. He has this game almost won. And in the real matchup, not the replay, I remember that Sura already after this play was already counting his blessings. He sent me a sticker to rejoice in his win right here. But you see right here, all my Axies die. And look, Shiva shows up. If I hit into him to do the max damage, boom! Shiva puts me into Fury mode right now. And I hit him with the double talk. GG, Nori to Rollo right there. As you can see, Shiva's revenge does come at the end to save me, and it was a very close matchup. So that was my Shiva's Revenge Fury build. Honestly, it was awesome to be able to craft this Rage Fury build using Shiva. Shiva was only recently buffed in the last patch, and because of that, it really opened the possibility of Shiva actually going into the meta. Before, Cactus, Nemo, and Cottontail were the only real viable tails to use, but with Shiva, it really allows us Fury players to have this opportunity to actually get into Fury mode. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously, and I've been noticing as I've been ranking higher in this season, more and more people are starting to watch my videos, so I appreciate all of you that check it out. If you would like to support me, my Lunacian code is down below and it's appearing right here on the screen, only if you want to use it. Anyways, that ends it for this video. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.